Good evening, everyone. Did you know that more than 80% of the doctors suffer from stress? So apparently, public health sector in the UK is one of the most stressful places to go to work. My name is Hannah. I run an accountancy firm, but my primary clients are healthcare professionals. So my clients come to me because they want to reduce their tax bill. They want to be good at their money because they work hard. And they want to build their wealth because they think they deserve it. But the more I do it, the more I get to know my clients, the more I realize that these are the people supposed to be the ones look after other people's health, but quite often they neglect their own health. The reason why I bring up the topic of health is, for me, health is very important. I'm very health conscious in my spare time. So recently I did a small research on General Medical Council. So what makes a good doctor? They were saying you have to be competent technically. You have to be willing to sacrifice because you might be required to work very stressful hours. And you are willing to manage stress and manage uncertainties. But what I find is being good at looking after yourself, looking after your health, has not been a criteria of being a good doctor. So as I mentioned, I was health conscious myself. I grew up in China. It was a country in late 19th century and early 20th century. We've been called the sick man of Eastern Asia. Because at that time, that was pretty much the end of Qing dynasty, and the people are sick mentally and physically. Physical health education was not greatly promoted in China at that time. So, and also because that's the end of the dynasty, lots of people think the country will die. But at that time, in about 1917, there was a college student. He saw the problem, and he believed if everyone in China are being healthy and being stronger physically, their mind will be stronger, and we can rebuild the nation and also get rid of that title of being the sick man of Eastern Asia. So he wrote an article about promoting physical education, and it was published in National magazine. He wanted to encourage every Chinese people to start taking on physical activities, looking after their own health, so we can fight against our enemy soldiers and rebuild our nation. This man was actually our Chairman Mao. So he has been a really good inspiration for me of being health conscious and taking on physical activities and looking after my body. So since then, I take on physical activities. It gave me so much positive energy because whenever I feel down, whenever I have challenges from business or from life, I know I have the strength to keep going. So in modern days, what does that mean to us of looking after our body? It means if everyone looks after ourselves, there will be fewer and fewer patients left. And the job of the doctor, they will be focusing more on how to keep a healthy body frame, how to have a healthy diet, and how you can look after yourself better and prevent disease. And equally, if our doctors, you look after your own health, then you'll be the role model, be the inspiration of others of being health conscious and looking after yourself. There was an old Chinese proverb saying, if you keep the mountain, and you can always rebuild the forest, even if all the trees died out. So there's nothing wrong. We're all chasing our career. We all want to build wealth. We all want to have money. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, it is health is that mountain. It is health, your ultimate wealth. Thank you.
Judges, please.
Hannah.
can't describe one word that describes that. Wow. Just simply wow. I think just the way you started with the whole did you know, you get the capture. Everyone's thinking in a minute you're an accountant, so you're going to start talking about finance, and you just took us in a completely different tangent. I love the fact that you're talking about wealth is driven by health. You brought in your experiences, your own personal stuff. It didn't even need you to move. You could stay exactly where you were in that one position, and everything was just zooming in. I've known you for a couple of years now. I've never heard you speak like that before. I think I might have to get you to come and speak at one or two of my gigs, basically, when you were based like that. So, look, well done. Congratulations.
One thing about Hannah, she really lives what she talks about. Whenever we have our training days, we start at 9, but by 9 o'clock, she would have been to a boot camp already, she would have been to the gym already, or she does pole dancing.
Sexy accountant.
Yeah. But, it's just, you live what you talk about, and I can feel that, and as a speaker, you need that integrity. And I really, honestly, that was beautiful. My stretch, actually, I have 2 stretches. First of all, I flap my hands a lot as well, but there's a lot of that. The kind of, they always say, it's a move when you want something, you beg, please give me, listen to me, do this for me. So let's loosen this up a bit more, because I feel one thing to loosen me up a bit more can be engaging the audience. So you had a really good chance when you said, I grew up in China. How many of you have been to China? And, then we are there with you. You activate them and you bring them back into your story. You are so powerful, but we can take this even further, and I'm so excited for you.
You just, every time, I think it's like the 5th time I've heard you speak, and you just take accounts, and you just take it in this direction every time, and you make it interesting and engaging, and everything that everyone said. There's not really much to add, because I really enjoy hearing you speak. And you was completely right. You don't need to move and walk up and down the stage. But my stretch would be to try that. Try and see how much more can you? Yeah, you're like moving from that. I just now this speech, you're making me move.
Oh, come on, she's moving in the mornings before she's coming.
She's not moving. She's exhausted. I can't move. It's just a stretch. Play with it. It might not work for you. I'm not a big lover of people doing these power stance things that you get taught at Pony Express speakers class.
Stage anchoring.
Just all of
I
those
don't
things.
do this either.
No, but just all those things. For me, if you're speaking from your heart, you can do what the fuck you want, right? So, but let's play with this. This is your playing ground. So let's see what happens to your hands when you move. You had, because it's so easy to watch you, I was just looking at how you'd segmented your speech. So maybe change your movements when you finish and you go into a next section. Ash did that. You kind of moved, I don't even know, it wasn't planned, but you moved quite deliberately and it kind of woke us up. Play. It might not work. It doesn't matter if you want to stay still, because you can do that, and not many people can do that. That's why they have to use all this choreography, bullshit, whatever, right? But play. Let's make you even better. Let's see where it can go. Just play with it. But I can't wait to see what you do next with accounts, because you always start with that. And I just think, go wild and run with some more stories. I want to know more about China. You gave me about your youth. You told me a bit of history, stuff I didn't know. And the beauty is, a lot of people don't know much about China. It's quite protected. So explore that. I think that would give you some scope of not talking about your career if you want to do more storytelling and just more me stuff. I like it. I love it. Well done, you.